Well, this is the inaugural Greater Good podcast interview, and it's with Janis Mensah. So, Janis, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So we started talking in April of this year, which was before I don't what I think at that point the trial date for your arrest had been set for maybe mid-May, or maybe it was originally set for April and then it had
Hmm.
been continued for a
Yeah.
period. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the essentially your legal team filed a motion to dismiss,
Hmm.
and that was essentially granted in June. Do I have that right? Like mid-June? When was the actual did you
No.
even go into court to
Yes. Yeah. We had the trial. It wasn't until, oh, yes, it was in July. Um, and the city closed its case, rested its case, and then it was our turn. But right before we opened our case, we filed a motion to dismiss, and it
yeah.
was granted.
Yeah. So you actually did go into trial. And was it a bench trial or a jury trial?
So the one in July of 2025, that was a jury trial. The bench trial was much earlier.
Yeah. So tell us what happened in the bench trial.
In the bench trial, we completed the full trial, heard all the evidence. They had some witnesses that testified. I testified.
Hmm.
The judge, I guess, deliberated for a week or so, and he found me guilty on both counts,
Wow. Okay.
passing and resisting arrest.
Trespassing and resisting arrest. Okay.
Yes.
And
And
so, go ahead.
yeah, at sentencing, the maximum fine was 500 for each count.
Uh-huh.
Um, and he gave me 400 for each count, so a total of $800 in fines.
Okay. And there was no incarceration time?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not familiar with St. Louis City criminal justice sentencing guidelines. So I wonder if there was it only a fine, or did your legal team say that there was a possibility of like
Yeah,
a
there was
couple
a
weeks in jail?
possibility of
Yeah.
of jail time.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So the bench trial happened in June, and then you were pretty quickly able on appeal to get a jury trial, like within a month, or what's the
No,
timing? What was the timing on that?
the jury trial was in June. The bench trial,
Must have been in March then, maybe, or even earlier.
it was much, much earlier. I don't remember the month, but it was much, much earlier.
Like winter time of 2025, maybe.
Um, I don't remember if it was even 2025.
Yeah, maybe not. Well,
Yeah,
let's
I
get,
think it was end of 2024.
yeah, okay. Well, let's go back. We've got way ahead of ourselves. So, I mean, at this point, we'll assume that the audience doesn't know who you are and what we're talking about. So
Mhm.
let's go back to the beginning of the event, or actually, if you want to introduce yourself and a little bit of your background, your connection to St. Louis, because the podcast is focused on Missouri politics,
Mhm.
more or less. So your connection to St. Louis, WashU, um, the the role that you had on the uh, criminal oversight board. Do I have that right? Or the
Detention Facilities Oversight Board or
detention
Jail Oversight
facilities
Board.
oversight board? Yeah, which is what led you to being arrested in the first place. So take it away.
Mhm.
Tell us about yourself.
Yes. So, Janis Mensah, use they them pronouns.
Yeah.
I came to St. Louis in 2016 to go to undergrad. So I went to WashU. Um, and while I was there, I had really terrible interactions with the police, um, including um, them trying to charge me with trespassing at my own school.
While you were a
Uh,
student
yes, they
during your
they
undergrad experience.
Yeah, they didn't believe
Yeah.
I was a student.
Yeah.
Um, and I narrowly escaped that with the help of Art City Defenders. Back then, they were just my past employer because I interned there.
Right.
Uh, of course, much later with this trial, they were my lawyers defending me. But I narrowly escaped getting involved with the legal punishment system back when I was 17. And that's what started me on my journey of incarcerated advocacy because I recognized my class privilege to be able to have access to lawyers that would write a letter to my school um, asking them not to, uh, like
Harass you.
bring me in front of the student board and things like that.
Yeah. There,
Because they
I
were,
sorry. I noticed I was reading earlier that so you said 17. There was an incident about you being engaged by the police, the Wash U police, the university
Mhm.
police outside of a Chick-fil-A.
Yes, yeah.
So what,
So,
tell us
that,
about that.
yeah, that was this trespassing thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
that was your first year at Wash U when you were 17.
yes, yeah. Um,
Welcome to St. Louis.
Actually, it might have been my sophomore year.
Yeah. Early
But
though. Like pretty early.
yeah, yeah, very early.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A on the part of the like greater WashU campus is where the WashU Med School is. It's also where what used to be called the St. Louis College of Pharmacy was. And I was laying on the grass outside of Chick-fil-A. I go there a lot.
Yeah.
And
Was it like a beautiful summer day or
it
spring
was
day?
one of the last nice days before winter.
Oh, okay. So in the fall.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and I was just laying, my head on my skateboard, in the grass, my book bag, my backpack,
Yeah. So
just looking like,
you had indicia of being a student.
right, just like, and there's tons of people passing, tons of
Yeah.
students.
Yeah.
And the local, the St. Louis College of Pharmacy's armed security guards who are dressed just like police, who don't identify themselves as anything, don't specify that they're not police. So I
Yeah.
assumed they were police, not having known about, the armed security guard system and things like that. Or some people call them rent-a-cops.
Yeah.
Uh, and they told me I was trespassing and they told me that I had to leave. And I was like, there are about 100 students passing around me and
Yeah.
no one's asking them for their ID.
Yeah. Was anyone else on the grass too with you or?
No, they were just walking around it, seated at the other
Yeah.
benches, things like that. But there's like a lot of people around.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's nothing like particularly strange that would attract
Yeah.
uh, security's attention other than me being maybe the only black person there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Um, so
With a backpack
right,
and a
with backpack.
skateboard. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
going to be there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Was it morning, afternoon? I guess it was
uh,
what
would have
time of day was it?
been right before 3 or so,
Oh,
3 p.
okay, afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and they were like, seemed very angry with me right off the bat, telling me I was trespassing. I was telling them I was a student here, and they were kept asking for my ID, which was aggravating me because it was like, I know when I'm being profiled, and that's what was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so they at one point there were like five of them there
Really?
with me on the ground,
Yeah.
not threatening, just laying down,
Yeah.
and they handcuffed me.
No kidding.
Yeah, and but that was actually after this one armed security guard, I believe his name was Scott Ingram. He threatened to shoot me.
Oh, right. I saw that
And it
in the article. Yeah.
and it was just so ridiculous. I was shaking, I was scared.
Sure.
I was recording it and I was thinking about,
You were recording it.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
recording the whole thing and I was thinking about like if this person really shoots me, like I want to say something to my mom, like before I die.
Sure.
Um,
God, what an awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just terrible. They called the actual police, transferred me from their handcuffs to the police handcuffs. The police um, drove me to my house, didn't really even really tell me what was going on, if I was being arrested or not.
Yeah.
But I wasn't because they didn't process me, didn't read me my rights, anything like that. They just dropped me off at home. And of course, that was terrible because I was seen by my landlords being taken out of a police van with,
Yeah.
handcuffs.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't really live there anymore. So I had to move.
Did that, oh, really? That was an immediate repercussion of that event?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't feel comfortable with my just being there at my house anymore. So
But
yeah,
your landlord did not like evict you.
no, they didn't kick me out or say anything like that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
our conversations were pretty tense after that. So I
Sure. Yeah.
just left.
Yeah. So, these, there's so much to ask about this, such a ridiculous circumstance. So the rent-a-cops, the private goon squad,
Mhm.
um, they were Chick-fil-A or they were St. Louis
No,
College of
they
Pharmacy?
were St. Louis College of Pharmacy, and
Yeah.
because the Chick-fil-A is on St. Louis College of Pharmacy, they're often in the Chick-fil-A,
Okay.
I don't know, I guess on their patrol or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
So the Chick-fil-A is like in the ground level of the building or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
it's open to the public, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on their campus, yeah.
Right. Right. Wow. So what was the final disposition of that event? I mean, obviously
Yeah.
you weren't convicted of trespassing or
Yeah, so the police didn't like process me or anything like that, and
you
the
didn't
police
get a
kind of
citation or anything that
no, no, they were kind of agreeing with me that this rent-a-cop was like having a power trip, and they
Oh,
gave
okay.
me police actually gave me their card and told me if this happens again to call them,
Oh, wow.
and the and it actually did happen again, which is why our city defenders had to write a letter to the school because. Um, I believe the St. Louis College of Pharmacy armed security guards talked to the WashU Med School police, who talked to the undergrad campus police, who talked to the like student conduct board, and sent me a letter that said I was like being cited for four different things: failure to comply, failure to identify myself, trespassing, and like a behavioral conduct one or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, you have to appear in front of the student board in like a week. And I was like, no, I need time. I need to get my lawyers and
Did,
stuff like that.
and what was the purpose of appearing in front of the student board? I mean, what were the potential consequences via that? Like, I guess you
Ex
could call it an adjudicated body. Like, were they threatening to
yeah, I mean,
suspend you?
expulsion.
Really?
Yeah,
Just from that one event?
yeah,
Wow. Okay. And
yeah.
that was explicit in the notice for your appearing
Hmm.
in front of the board.
Hmm.
It was like, we need to talk about potentially expelling you for this
Yeah,
event. Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah.
So what happened?
Um,
You didn't get
so
expelled.
no, no, no. I didn't even actually have to go in front of the student board
Yeah.
because our city defenders wrote a letter saying we need time to gather evidence for our client,
Hmm.
and eventually they dropped it. The like student affairs
Yeah.
president or whatever, um, agreed that it was profiling and said that they wouldn't bother me anymore.
The student affairs president. So this is a student or this is an
No, this is
administrator with the school?
a staff member. I'm not getting her title right, but
Yeah.
it's something like that. And
So yeah.
yeah,
So that
I went to her office and
yeah.
like demanded to speak with her.
Yeah.
They said I couldn't, and
Hmm.
I just waited there anyways, and caught
Yeah.
her when she was like going to the bathroom or something, and
Yeah. Yeah.
brought me into her office, and she was like,
Hey,
"Yeah, this is profiling," and
oh, well,
yeah,
that's good. She didn't try to evade you.
well, she did, and I just
I mean, like
I
when
got
you
it
actually
anyway.
got her face to face,
Yeah,
she
I
didn't
did.
like,
I did.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, put the blinders on.
yeah.
Yeah. Man, that I mean, the use of the state. you know, sort of broadly conceived in this way, to bully and
hmm
threaten and coerce as a result, I mean, it's just you were 18, maybe 19, and
Yeah, 17 or 18.
yeah, God, it's just crazy. I
hmm
mean, I say it's crazy because as a white dude, that's never happened to me. And I mean, I'm not young anymore. I mean, part of this is not only racial, but it's generational, right? Like you're a kid
hmm
and they know that they can just terrify you into
hmm
compliance in that circumstance.
And gender-based too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because looked like a young black man even back then. And,
Yeah.
I told them my name, which is Janice. It's a
Yeah.
woman's name.
Right.
So people can kind of tell that I'm not like a cisgendered person.
Right. Right.
And that typically makes them uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm treated differently because of it.
Yeah. When you give your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe did that happen in that circumstance? I mean, you told them your name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from their perspective, it must have been such a curveball because they're looking at what they appear to be a black man and
hmm
then hearing a woman's name
hmm
and computing. And this would have
Yeah.
been like 2019, is that right? Or early? No,
Uh,
2017 maybe.
would have been, yeah, it's about 2018, something like that.
Yeah. So,
Um, or I'm sorry, yeah, it's something like 2017.
yeah.
Actually, I honestly don't remember if I told them my name, but they did rifle through my backpack and find a piece of mail I had and saw my name and saw my address.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, so that's just like the precursor. I mean, that's the prologue to the actual story. So tell us about your involvement on the detention facility oversight board. Did I say that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And then
Um,
how that led to your interaction with St. Louis PD.
yeah. Um,
Like,
So after that original incident with Wash U, I started working with this group, Metropolitan Congregations United, and working with youth who were facing charges with the legal punishment system. And I did that for 5 years. And later I saw an article in the St. Louis American, which is a black newspaper here,
mm,
and it was about the mayor Tashara Jones, the previous mayor,
yeah.
starting this jail oversight board. And it was kind of part of the theme that she campaigned on because there was the past jail, the workhouse, which was she closed within her first 100 days due to its
Hmm.
inhumane conditions that are still occurring at the City Justice Center, which is our current jail, where I was arrested. So I joined the board. I was elected chair, finished my term after a year, and then I was elected vice chair. And while I was vice chair, well, throughout the whole process, the city was actually, even though the mayor started the board, very against oversight.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had the power to visit the jail, with them at a moment's notice, to subpoena people to testify about things, to accept complaints from people detained there and staff to investigate those complaints, to sit in on the city interviewing detainees investigating those complaints, and ultimately to make recommendations to the mayor, to the director of public safety, and to the commissioner, which is the official title of what is really the warden of the jail,
Yeah.
on how to improve the jail.
And can you flesh out the board itself a little bit? Like
Yeah,
how many other people were on it? What was the
yeah.
makeup of the board?
So
Yeah.
it was nine civilians,
Okay.
and we each had a different background. We each filled a different slot. So I was the slot for the 16 to 24-year-old.
Yeah.
There was a um, civil rights spot, a um, legal background spot, a former corrections officer spot,
Hmm.
someone with formerly incarcerated experience, someone with a health background, um, stuff like this.
Yeah. So it was established through the city council with the intention of having a board with diversified experiences specifically
Correct.
related to the criminal justice system or the
Correct.
incarceration system. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
what kinds of things did you do while you were chair
So
and vice chair?
yeah. So several. several people died in jail while
Yeah.
we were on the board, while I was chair, while I was vice chair. Um, and that's actually pretty unusual for a jail.
Yeah.
And compared to other American jails, we reached a point where we were 7 times as deadly as the average American jail.
Yeah.
So one of the deadliest jails in America, I believe.
Yeah.
And I confirmed that 7 times as deadly number with the Bureau of Justice Statistics, the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And so we tried to open some investigations into deaths, and they blocked us from doing that. We tried to receive complaints, and they blocked us from reading them. I was actually the only person on the board who was able to read any complaints, and I wasn't able to do anything
Huh.
with those complaints.
As when that was when you were the chair or the vice
But that
chair?
was when I was the chair. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah. And we were taken on uh, a couple of tours of the jail, but they were very structured, very superficial. We weren't really meant to interact with any people detained there at all. We were taken to an empty floor that was being renovated. Any of the people who were detained that we saw, we actually just happened across. They just happened to be folding laundry. They happened to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Um,
Were you allowed to speak to them if you encountered them?
we did,
Yeah.
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 We were allowed to speak to them. Um, but it was kind of like I was speaking to a staff member. He was telling me about how he's doing the work of 7 people. He hasn't gotten a raise in years.
Yeah.
And then the assistant to the warden would come over and he would stop talking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
and the other tours I tried to do, I probably tried to do um, between 5 to 7 attempted tours and
Mhm.
was allowed tours on two of them, two of those occasions.
Yeah.
Um, and the assistant warden, Tammy Ross, was actually so hostile about us even trying to tour that one of the tours lasted less than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And what happened was I went to the one of the units, 4B actually, and there was a man who had no idea that I would be there, but he had a note taped to his cell window, like little window in the cell door, and it was like a plea for help that he hasn't. And I started talking to him through the slit in the door, and he was saying he hasn't been allowed to speak to his family in a month. He hasn't showered in 2 weeks, and he was just begging me for help. The
Yeah.
assistant warden, Tammy Ross, came over, physically stood between me and this man,
Yeah.
and started yelling at me that I couldn't talk to him, um, that I needed to leave the unit. And at one point, she actually starts physically pushing me, out of the unit, which I found completely inappropriate,
Yeah.
um,
Preventing you from quite literally
doing my job.
doing the job that the city council established
Right.
you in your role as the chair
Right.
and or vice chair and the entire board to do.
Yeah. That I had very clear authority to do,
Yeah.
responsibility
Yeah.
to the people at the jail, the staff at the jail, the warden,
Yeah.
the board of alders, the mayor,
Yeah.
the general public
Yeah.
to do that job.
Did the oversight board have direct line of communication to the city council and or the mayor
The board of alders, yes. I mean, we
or the
could
board? Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
we could
I'm
send
not super
them.
familiar with St.
Yeah,
Louis's
we
administrative
we
structure and governance.
sent several letters to the mayor, and she
Yeah.
never responded.
Yeah. Great. Great. Okay.
Invited her to our meetings,
Yeah.
invited the warden to our meetings. She came once, um, offered nothing,
Yeah.
and never came again.
And this is Tashara Jones. Do I have that
Yeah,
right?
Mayor Tashara Jones.
Yeah. And she was recently replaced
Hmm.
by Kara Spencer.
Yes,
Okay.
that's our current mayor, Kara Spencer.
Correct. Okay. So, and we can talk about that in a second, but okay. So you're you spend a year, is that right? Was that the term of the chair position
Yeah.
and then another year as the vice chair?
About 6 months as the vice chair
Uh,
after I was arrested. I stayed on for a few months, but I
that's right.
just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, so then let's talk about the events of the arrest and Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, Terrence Smith
Hmm.
reportedly, I didn't know his name at that time, but there was a unverified death at the jail that morning. Um, and our chair then, who was Reverend Darrell Gray, he sent out an email to all of us saying that there was an unconfirmed death. So when I got off work, I went down to the jail to confirm it.
Is that
And
that standard operating procedure on something like that for the oversight board?
well, standard operating procedure would have been for them to contact the Division of Civilian Oversight and for the Division of Civilian Oversight to contact us.
Okay.
They had evaded that procedure many, many times before.
Yeah. And by them, you, in this case, you mean the detention facility, the St. Louis or the City Justice Center, right?
The jail, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, so, but that was, written into the ordinance that gave me authority is that I could tour
Yeah.
um, at a moment's notice.
Right.
Or in this case, I wasn't even trying to tour. I just wanted to confirm a death.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah.
and so one staff member did say someone did die that morning.
Hmm.
Um, but she left very quickly. And then the assistant warden, Tammy Ross, came out. I asked her to confirm that a death happened that morning,
Yeah.
and she was very evasive. She was just saying, um, this other person already told you there was a death, so
Yeah.
what do you need me for?
Right.
And
Let's back up a little bit. So you went to you the chair sent out the email that notified that there was an unconfirmed death, and you went to the City Justice Center after work, and
Mhm.
you and I think it's important to note that the operating hours, the public access hours for the City Justice Center went until 8 or 9 p.m. that night, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't like they were shutting, the
No, no, no. I was there
public
at like,
access ended at like 6,
right.
5:30.
No, I was there at 4:30 or 5, and
Yeah,
the visiting hours for the public, which is separate than, you know, a quasi-governmental official, which I was,
right.
um, were till 8 or 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So important to note that you were well within your rights legally to be there.
Hmm
Not just, you know, in your role as you just noted, a quasi government official, but for any official,
hmm
government or quasi governmental official,
hmm
access to the city justice center would have been available till at least 8 p.m. that night.
hmm
Okay, so you go in to confirm the death and you talk to a deputy.
I originally talked to, I think, an executive assistant
Okay.
staff member. Green was her last name. I don't know her
Mhm.
first name.
Mhm.
And then I talked to the assistant warden, Tammy Ross,
All
who
right.
I
Okay.
had more regular contact with.
And then this is all just in the lobby, right? Like
Yes.
more or less.
hmm
Yeah. I mean, you
Access
didn't.
to detain people in
Yeah. I
there,
mean,
just the
right.
lobby.
Yeah. I mean, you were essentially just inside the front door,
hmm
City Justice Center this
hmm
entire time. Yeah.
hmm
Okay. And so then the warden comes out and
No, the warden doesn't come
oh, then
until much later in the night.
oh, okay. So it was the assistant warden who said
hmm
the admin already confirmed for you. So why are you talking to me?
hmm
Yeah, great. Good attitude. That's yeah. Okay. Okay. So then continue. What happens next?
So I sat down and I talked to the assistant warden, Tammy Ross,
Hmm.
for a bit. She was very evasive, and then she said she was leaving. So she left me there in the lobby, and I had told her that I wanted to see the master controls, which is just past two security checkpoints. I had already been past one security checkpoint. And the master controls is basically a room with like CCTV footage where you can see the jail. You could see the cells, you could see the kitchen, you could see everything.
Yeah.
But you don't have access to any detained people in that area.
Right.
So I just wanted to look at like the circumstances surrounding the death, um, uh, what the jail looked like. things like that.
Yeah.
So she left. I was waiting for the warden to come to speak to me.
Mhm.
And
Did the assistant warden give you access to that?
no, she did not. She just left me in the inner lobby.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So then the warden.
So then I was there waiting for, let's see, 5 until like 7:30, 7:45, not being given access to the master controls, but
Yeah.
also not being able to talk to the warden, just kind of sitting there waiting for hours, which wasn't too unusual. As I said before, I attempted to tour many times, and they would
Yeah.
often have me there waiting for hours. No one would come to speak to me, and then um, usually I would just leave after several hours because I had to get back to work or I had other responsibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. To
I'm
get back to
full-time.
life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that night
Hmm.
you stayed because of the dire circumstances that
Right. And
once again another person had died.
I was under the impression that um, they would be back soon to let me know if, I was going to get to see the master controls or not.
Yeah.
Um, and shortly before so at one point, Tammy Ross comes back, and shortly before the police arrive, uh, Tammy Ross goes into the back with the warden, and she says to me, "I'll be right back."
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna get to tour.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I'm sitting there. Um, I
So
actually,
this is after you've been, so you arrive, you talk to the admin, then you talk to the assistant warden, Tammy Ross, and
mhm,
she more or less blows you off. She's evasive, she blows
mhm,
you off. She ostensibly leaves, but then she
mhm,
comes back after some amount of time, like
mhm. She comes back with the warden. Yeah.
maybe like an hour or
Uh,
I mean, did she leave you sitting there
two
for like
hours or so.
okay, yeah. So she left you sitting there for
Mhm,
an extended period of time,
mhm,
ostensibly saying that she was gone, like she
mhm,
left the facility, maybe even completely.
mhm. Yeah,
And
she
then,
did. She left
eh,
through the front door, so I think she went home.
yeah, okay. So then she came back.
Hmm.
She came back and then told you, like, I'll be right back. And she walks in
Hmm.
to talk to the warden.
Hmm.
So you have a very reasonable belief that something's going to break here. Like somebody's
Hmm.
going to come out and give me an official answer, maybe give me
Yes.
access to the master controls.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay. And access, to be clear, the access to the master controls, the point of that was not necessarily to see what was happening at that moment,
Right.
although there's benefit to that, but also potentially to see any recordings, any
Right.
audio,
Rewind the
surveillance
tape.
recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So the assistant warden, Tammy Ross, comes back in, tells you that she'll be right back,
Hmm.
ostensibly goes in to speak with the warden, and then what happens?
I closed my eyes for maybe 15 minutes while they're gone. Because I
Just
don't know
waiting.
when they'll be back. I'll be
Yeah.
right back has meant 2 hours later at times.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Um, and when I wake up, there are police there,
Yeah.
and I have no idea why.
And this is maybe 8 o'clock, 7:30, 7:45.
Before 8 o'clock. Yeah,
Okay.
before eight
Mm.
o'clock, maybe
Yeah.
a few minutes before.
Yeah.
So there are police there. I have no idea why. But it's a jail, so I think, okay, there are police here for something.
Yeah.
But I don't assume they're there for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unbeknownst to me, um, the warden had called the police and said that there was, a black man in the lobby refusing to leave. Um, and
Do you, is that, was that testified to that that's explicitly what she said? There's a black man in the lobby refusing to leave, as opposed to
yes,
the
yeah,
vice chair
saying
of the detention
so.
oversight facility is in the lobby refusing to leave.
So she does tell the dispatch that I'm with the jail oversight board, but then she tells them that I have no reason to be there.
Okay.
And I don't
Did
believe.
she say there's a black man?
Mhm,
She did. Yeah.
mhm. And a black male, you know.
Yeah, blackmail, yeah.
And I don't know whether it was communicated to the dispatching officers or to the officers that came
Yeah,
that I was on the jail oversight board or that they knew anything about it. You know,
right.
they could have
Right.
just received blackmail,
Yeah,
jail lobby, refusing to leave.
right.
Um, anyway, so the police come, they talk to the jail captain, Captain Morgan, and then they start talking to me. They ask me, uh, why aren't we leaving or something like that.
Yeah,
And so um I'm taking my mask or I'm putting back on my sweatshirt because I was using it as a pillow or something,
yeah.
putting my mask on, thinking that they're gonna, you know, if they come within 6 feet, that I want my mask on.
Hmm.
And because I was still having COVID concerns and things like that.
This is to be clear, this is the summer of 2023.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's two officers, two men. Um, and before we can even have a conversation, before I can even say anything,
Yeah.
and without telling me I was under arrest or anything like that, they advance towards me and they grab me
Hmm.
and rip me from the bench so hard that the bench lifts up with me.
Yeah.
They like pick me up, slam me to the ground, and they get on top of me. I'm face down. My head has hit the, concrete floor.
Yeah.
Um, they are leaning on top of me, both of them, their knees on me. And they had actually started punching me while I was in the bench.
Yeah.
I didn't raise my hands to them, anything like that.
Right.
They start punching me in my back. They throw me to the ground, keep punching me in my back. Um, and they're yelling at me to stop resisting.
Yeah.
And by that point, I can't even move. I'm starting to lose consciousness. One arm is behind my back in handcuffs.
Yeah.
The other arm is pinned beneath me underneath the weight of my body and probably 200 pounds of their weight. Um,
Probably more.
yeah,
250. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm 150 pounds and I'm not a big guy. So I mean
Uh-huh,
I would say over 300 pounds if it's two guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and they're just yelling at me, very angry, very like escalating the situation. I'm not appearing to be a threat at all. I'm 5'5", 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Um, and
I think I was watching, I've seen the video a couple
Mhm.
times, and you mentioned that when they approached, they didn't say anything like you're under arrest. They just grabbed
No,
you.
not at all. They just
And
grabbed me
and it looked,
inexplicably.
yeah. And your instinct, a pretty normal human instinct is you grabbed onto the bench of chairs.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Like
grabbed onto
resisting
the
being pulled off of the bench of chairs. It's like
right.
and then
Well,
the audience will see the video, but it's a standard issue like bench of seats, each of which has an armrest, like you'd
hmm
see at an airport or in a bus station
hmm
or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like when you grab onto it, and you mentioned that when they grabbed you with such force that it lifted up that bench. Like
hmm
it's not like a picnic table bench. This is like a bench of chairs, metal
hmm
chairs.
Yeah, like five
Yeah,
welded together. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Right, right.
Yeah. And they're like, you know, coming over me
Yeah, because
in a
you're still
very kind of,
seated, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
daunting way.
yeah,
And I just reflexively like lean back into the chair and grab
yeah,
onto
yeah.
the arms. And
Right,
they just start, ripping me. And they haven't given me any commands. So it's not like I was disobeying a command. I just
right,
had no idea what was going on.
right, right.
Yeah.
Surveillance footage shows a citizen tasked with overseeing the St. Louis jail thrown to the ground and arrested inside the facility. They say it's another example of the city not being able to oversee its own jail. But police say this all could have been avoided if the person didn't trespass. First Alert 4's John Kipper is live outside the City Justice Center in the fight over transparency, John.
Yeah, Corey, here at the City Justice Center, where 9 inmates have died in the last 2 years, and 2 inmates have died just in the last 3 weeks. Now, it was back on August 31st when a jail oversight board member, Janis Mensah, came to the jail to try to get more information on the most recent death. And instead of getting any type of tour, they got arrested.
Put your hand behind your back!
First Alert 4 obtained this surveillance video showing the moment Janet Mensah was arrested inside the St. Louis City Justice Center in late August.
They ripped me from the bench that I was sitting on, threw me to the ground, and that's the period where I begin to lose consciousness.
Mensah is a member of the Detention Facilities Oversight Board, a group of city residents tasked with overseeing jail conditions and operations. They say they visited the CJC August 31st, inquiring about Terrence Smith, a detainee who died after suffering a medical emergency while in custody.
They really didn't answer any of my questions.
Mensah tells First Alert 4 they just wanted to look at surveillance video inside the jail that day, but couldn't. City law says members of the Detention Facilities Board shall be provided access to city detention facilities at any time upon notice of the commissioner and without conditions or requirements as to timing or form of such notice. Mensah is now cited for 2 infractions, trespassing and resisting arrest. They want Corrections Commissioner Jennifer Clemens Abdullah to resign and worries if leadership will ever make the jail better.
Now more than ever, the city government is not capable of overseeing itself.
So you're on the ground, they handcuff you.
Mm-hmm.
You're in and out of consciousness because you hit your head on the linoleum floor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then what happens? You go to they take you away. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a clear memory of what happens after, but I do know what is in the video.
yeah.
And I'm unconscious, limp, and they're dragging me out. Like literally, my feet are dragging across the floor.
Yeah.
And that's how they take me out of the jail. And eventually they bring me to the hospital. But in the meantime, they had me sitting on the steps, and you can hear in the body cam, they believe that I'm faking it despite having thrown me and slammed my head on the floor.
Yeah.
And they're kicking at my legs to see if I react, and they're dropping me down the steps to see if I react. And then after they're, I guess, satisfied with doing that, they drive me to the hospital. They don't communicate to the hospital that I've hit my head.
Right.
So the hospital doesn't do any kind of tests about head injury.
Yeah.
I regain consciousness in the hospital. That's a couple hours later. It's the middle of the night by now.
Are you handcuffed this entire time in the hospital?
I was handcuffed until the police left. They unhandcuffed me at some point, but of course I come into the hospital by police in handcuffs, and I noticed a distinct difference in how I was treated versus when I'm usually going to the hospital for something. They were treating me like a criminal.
Yeah.
And I don't like that word criminal to describe people, but
yeah. Which is the whole point of the
yeah.
police having you in handcuffs and bringing you into the hospital. They know that the hospital staff is going to receive you that way. Particularly if they're not giving any context for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wake up in the hospital, middle of the night. Did you stay in the hospital for an extended period of time, or you were released the next day?
It just happened to be overnight because it was in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I was inpatient or anything like that.
Yeah, you were just ER, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The whole time, yeah. And you were probably never given any kind of a concussion test or neurological test.
No, I wasn't. I did have a concussion that was later diagnosed when I went to my own neurologist.
Yeah, not surprising.
Yeah, but what they diagnosed me with, which I saw from my papers, that the hospital gave me was a seizure. They suspected I had a seizure.
Wow. as a consequence of hitting your head or as a consequence of just the overall event itself, like the stress of the event? Who
They
knows?
didn't
Yeah.
specify.
Yeah.
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 And they didn't have a lot of information to go on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, my this 1 hour Zoom time is getting short. So let's actually, I want to ask one more thing about the hospital and the event itself.
Mhm.
Did when you were discharged from the hospital, did anyone say anything? Was there a police presence, or they were just like, okay, get out,
No,
like
no, there was
you're
no
fine?
police presence. It was like, okay, get out. And I
Yeah.
actually didn't even know that I had been like charged with anything.
Were
Um,
you charged while you were at the hospital? Were you formally charged with something while
well,
with trespass
so
and resisting while you're at the hospital?
the only way I knew that I was charged is later I found a pink citation slip in my backpack that said I needed to appear in court for trespassing and resisting arrest. And
Like,
I
here's
was
your
like,
receipt. Here's your receipt for our
yeah,
pleasant interaction.
yeah. And I was just like,
God damn.
okay, I guess I was arrested.
Yeah, yeah. And so the hospital staff didn't I mean they didn't do it like did anyone say like, "Hey man, I'm sorry this is a terrible circumstance," or it was just like,
Not whatsoever.
yeah, because you were
Uh,
in the ER, the
yeah,
basically
I
the
didn't,
yeah.
I to date have not gotten an apology from the mayor, the police, the
Yeah.
jail,
Uh,
nothing. And I did ask for one. I offered to settle out of court
yeah,
um, with certain conditions, including if the mayor would apologize.
right.
Refused.
Great. What hospital did you go to, by the way?
Sloop.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So the CJC is roughly downtown, but close enough that St. Louis University Hospital was the closest hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's we've already at the beginning of the conversation we spoiled the ending in the sense that you were never convicted. Well, you were convicted on a bench trial, but then on an
Yes.
appeal at a jury trial,
I was
um,
acquitted.
you were acquitted. Yeah. And the bench trial was, I mean, again, I as an attorney, I don't have a background in criminal justice, but I feel like the first time we spoke in like April, late April, early May, we talked about how the bench trial was not exactly um, an indictment like the like somewhere between a fulsome trial and just a grand jury indictment,
Hmm.
right? But it sounds like it was actually a trial. Like both
Hmm.
sides presented evidence, and
Correct.
there was
Yeah.
an adjudication, and the adjudication was guilty
Guilty.
of trespassing and resisting arrest.
Correct.
Okay. You were thinking that occurred late December or late 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, some because the events were in the summer, basically early summer of 23. So you
Hmm.
waited essentially 18 months with these citations before you
Yeah.
got your chance to
Yeah.
speak to a judge.
Going to
Yeah.
hearings and
Yeah.
having to take time off work, and
Yeah. How long was the bench trial itself? How long did it take?
it was like 5 hours all in the same day.
Same day. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so take us through, we'll rehash some of this, the between the bench trial and then the appeal, the jury appeal trial, we'll say, the arch city defenders make their case on your behalf
Hmm.
in the appeal, which makes sense
Hmm.
in the appellate setting,
Hmm.
because the prosecution has already proved their case, so appeal generally gets to go first in the appellate
Hmm.
setting. So um, they make their case, and then the city just drops it. Like you're like,
The
okay,
city makes their case?
or no, the Arch City defenders made their case.
No, the city goes first. So we
They
never
went first
actually
again
started
on
our
the
case.
jury trial too.
Hmm.
Really? So they re-prosecuted it,
Hmm.
and then before your legal team, the Arch City defenders team, had their chance to make their defense, the city dropped it.
Um, the judge, yeah. accepted our
Or yeah, right. Oh, that's right. Right. Yeah.
right,
Your legal team put in a motion to dismiss and the judge accepted it.
right.
Okay. Okay. So that I was I was about it felt like the ball was being set on the tee to be like they just wanted the city wanted one more bite at the apple to say this is a terrible person who did a bad thing and they got
Mm,
convicted, knowing that they were likely going to lose,
mm,
certainly on a jury trial,
mm.
you know.
One would hope, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see the point, like it was setting itself up to seem very vindictive. I
Hmm.
mean, it still is vindictive to
Hmm.
make the case again, but then
Right.
the judge had enough sense to be like, no, this is not a thing,
Yeah, well,
reversed
it was
or
dismissed.
acquitted,
It was
dismissed. Yeah.
dismissed on a technicality, basically.
Oh, okay.
The city failed to admit the ordinance that they believed I violated as evidence, and in St. Louis municipal court,
Yeah.
you have to admit the ordinance as evidence to
Yeah.
prove that they violated it. And because the city didn't do that, and considering that the city prosecutor had over 35 years of experience and he should have known that, the
Yeah.
judge dismissed it
So did that happen at the bench
at the
trial as
jury trial.
well? So
No,
they submitted it at the bench trial. They admitted
I
the
don't I don't
ordinance.
remember if they submitted it at the bench trial because it was
Yeah.
actually different prosecutors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clown show. Just a clown show. Wow. So, and then they didn't care enough to take it back up to refile.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Well, okay. I I haven't gotten a notice from Zoom that this is supposed to end in 30 seconds. So we'll keep going, and if it stops short, we'll schedule a round two. But
Sure.
what happens after that?
Um,
I mean, no, like you said, you did eventually file suit against the city, and
yes.
some of the preconditions or the offer to settle were apologies, and
Hmm.
which never came. So tell us
Right.
a little bit about that.
Um, yeah, so there was a 2-year statute of limitations um, during which I could file a suit against the city of a violation of my civil rights. I believe the First and the 14th Amendment, the right to free speech and the right to equal protection under the law.
Right.
Um, and so we did that in August of 2025 because that was 2 years after the incident.
Yeah.
So that is ongoing right now, and
Oh,
my
okay.
lawyers expect it to be I mean, this past trial was 2 years, and the lawyers expect my suit against the city to be much longer than that, 3, 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a long process.
Oh, totally. No question. So to clarify, the jury trial, like quasi-appellate jury trial, happened in June of this past year,
Uh-huh.
June, July. So it was essentially 2 years after the events. Yeah. Okay. So how does I mean, obviously not trying to get you to talk about anything that would fall under attorney-client privilege, but your defense team, your legal team feels pretty good about the suit
Yeah, I mean, I
going
think
toward,
it's
I mean, your lawsuit of the city.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's up in the air. No one knows what will happen. I believe one thing that happened was uh the uh jury pool was changed. So before we were trying to do it so that the jury pool would be St. Louis City residents. Um, but it was changed to, I think, Missouri residents, which tend to be less um,
Yeah.
aggressive.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was kind of it's a typical tactic, but not great for the outlook, but it is something we expected. Um,
They tend to
and
be, when you say they tend to be less aggressive, you mean they tend to,
progressive,
oh,
progressive,
progressive. Yeah,
progressive.
yeah. Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Conservative. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're more
Um,
likely to side with the establishment,
with the police,
state.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
city.
Hmm.
Yeah. And more so than winning the case, of course, I would like to win.
Yeah.
I would like to be there to be, uh,
Publicly exonerated,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, or just like I don't know, because the case against me being dismissed just doesn't feel like justice, because
Sure.
I was suffering for 2 years. It was affecting my housing again,
Yeah,
affecting my ability to support foster kids, affecting my job. Um, yeah, for 2 years, it was really very difficult, affecting my mental health,
sure.
affecting my physical health, required a lot of energy from me to organize the Justice for Janice Coalition to support me with over
Sure.
30 organizations,
Yeah,
to organize 600 people to sign the petition asking the city to drop the charges, to um, talk to alders, to talk to the mayor. Everything was really, really emotionally laborious. And just having the case go away on a technicality was
yeah.
just feels very,
Kafkaesque.
yeah, it just feels
Yeah, just
like what
arbitrary.
now? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in a system of balance and restorative justice, that doesn't qualify,
Right,
you
right.
know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the chronic stress alone, just the
Yeah,
day-to-day chronic stress alone is just so detrimental to health.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, t
And
tell us. Oh, go ahead.
it's been a lot better with the case being dismissed, kind of getting a chance to like piece my life back together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it will be a long process. And yeah.
Yeah. Tell Talk a little bit about the Justice for Janice campaign.
Yeah, so the Justice for Janice Coalition was uh, co-founded by me and members of the Eco-Socialist Green Party of Missouri.
Yeah, which
Uh,
is how we came in contact with each other.
yes,
Yeah.
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 And we started it to organize around getting the charges dropped and also to organize around uh, uh, the just like raising awareness about the terrible conditions at the jail.
Yeah.
Also, ultimately, because I am abolitionist and many of the members of the Eco-Socialist Green Party of Eastern Missouri are abolitionist. So, imagining and pursuing a society without jails and prisons,
Yeah.
to open conversations, open dialogues about abolition, to take abolitionist steps, because I believe abolition can and will be achieved in St. Louis City.
Yeah.
We already closed one jail. We have one jail left to close. Um, so we gathered support of different nonprofits and organizations, labor unions, pro-Palestinian organizations, progressive Jewish organizations, different Green parties, pro-Black or Black liberation organizations, um, things like that. So 32 organizations that were supporting me, and things like that. And then we gathered petition signatures. We made a website. Lauren Phila, actually, with the Eco-Socialist Green Party, made a
Yeah.
website for me, which was really great. She helped a lot with the whole campaign.
Yeah. Lauren's
And
great.
yeah. Um, and we got over 600 people to sign the petition to make comments about how they felt about the mayor refusing to drop the charges, and just this happening. Um, yeah, uh, uh, we held an event to talk about abolition in St. Louis. Had a couple of key speakers. Um, some people from the Close the Workhouse campaign, closing the old jail. And we had a good community turnout. 30 or 40 people showed up, talked about abolition, and that was including many abolitionists, many people who are unfamiliar with abolition but interested, many who are critical of abolition.
Really?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Opposing voices as well.
yeah, it was a really
Yeah.
good conversation.
Nice. Nice. And where did that happen?
That was at the Deaconess Foundation, Deaconess Center
Hmm.
in I think it's kind of like Midtown,
Yeah.
Central West End.
Yeah. Okay, great. How many people did you say attended that?
I would say 30 or 40.
Yeah, nice. Wow. When did that happen? Over the
Uh,
summer, maybe?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, earlier this year.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what are the plans for Justice for Janice Coalition now? Like continue like
Um,
does it transform itself into more explicitly, that's not maybe not the right way to phrase it, but or maybe more exclusively prison abolition organizing?
yeah, I'm
Or
not
not.
sure.
Maybe it just sort of
Yeah,
shutters and becomes
yeah.
something else.
I'm not sure really. I mean, on one hand, I do think it's nice to have like a coalition where we had one goal, we accomplished it,
Yeah.
we disperse.
Yeah,
There's a
right.
lot of I think in the organizing community, we don't really have a lot of clean wins that we can
Right.
celebrate. It's a lot of ongoing fights.
Yep.
Um, on the other hand, there's still every issue with the jail.
Sure.
James Earl Johnson just died at the jail this month, November of 2025. Um, so we still have all of the same issues, even though the warden who called the police on me has since been fired, which
R-
has been great.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. What was the cause?
Um, they didn't say the cause. But her
She didn't term out.
No,
She
no,
was
no.
formally
She was
fired.
terminated. She
Yeah.
was terminated by the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't mention that one of the reasons that I believe the warden called the police on me out of retaliation is because I was very public about my critique of the warden.
Sure.
And her name is Jennifer Clemens Abdullah.
Yeah.
I should have said that. And even though I didn't vote in the because I, as chair, abstained from any of the votes.
Yeah.
The board unanimously voted to call for the warden's resignation. And of course, I signed that letter as the
Yeah.
representative of the board, sent it to
Yeah.
the mayor, released it to the media,
Yeah.
and
The board of the detention
the jail
facilities
oversight board.
oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And our interactions were tense before that, and they were incredibly tense after that, and then she, of
Yeah.
course, called the police on me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Um, yeah. Wow. Wow. So I guess let's talk. I want to get your thoughts on the new mayor, but first, you mentioned the most recent death within the last month,
mhm.
and what was the disposition of Terrence Smith's passing? Were the details ever released about that? I mean,
Um,
the tragic event that led to further bad events, specifically to you.
he had,
Was there negligence at the facility, or did he
they
just
have
have a heart
not,
attack
they,
and die, or
they have not admitted negligence for any of the 45, 46 deaths that have happened at the facility since it was started in 2002.
yeah,
Um, and I don't think they're going to admit negligence for anything.
sure.
But
Yeah,
what happened with Terrence Smith, I believe he had a seizure. I don't remember the specifics of his death because there were so many of them. But I believe he had a seizure. Um, I don't remember if it was related to physical trauma to the head or anything like
right,
that.
right.
Um,
I'll do some digging and
yeah,
supplement the
yeah. And unfortunately, all we have to rely on are city reports of what happened,
sure.
and I don't
Yeah,
trust those one bit.
yeah, yeah. You can't trust people to police themselves or
Right,
audit themselves.
right.
Yeah, particularly organizationally, institutionally.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's the whole reason we had a civilian oversight board.
right.
But of course, they blocked us from doing our work.
Yeah,
So there was
yeah,
no independent investigation.
right, right. And that would be the role of the Civilian Oversight Board, to have a formal investigation and present
Correct.
to the Board of Aldermen.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, so moving forward then, Kara Spencer, the current mayor. I've read in some articles about, your experience, all of this. that we've been talking about that is it fair to say you're cautiously optimistic about her tenure or no?
No.
No? Okay. Cautiously pessimistic, if that's even a
Um,
thing. Yeah. I mean, is it an improvement on Mayor Jones? No.
no,
Was she
I
an
have not
is she an
seen
acolyte of Mayor Jones or just
accolade.
like a disciple of Mayor
Um,
Jones? Or just
no,
another neoliberal cog
the thing
placed
is,
in.
Mayor Jones made a lot of. She did accomplish some things. She closed the workhouse. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the community really closed the workhouse, but she finished it off.
You didn't block it. Yeah,
Um, she made a lot of promises, especially as with regards to jail reform
yeah,
and jail abolition. Um, I feel like Mayor Kara Spencer doesn't promise anything, progressive. Um, she has promised a lot about defending law and order,
yeah,
which is like pro police, pro investment in police instead of divestment. Um, um, which to say pro investment is in police is anti-investment in the community.
yeah,
That's the sacrifice we make when we invest further in a police system that's not working.
yeah.
Um,
Every budget is a moral document, right?
yeah, and right before she was elected, Kara actually did an interview where she said she was open to the idea of building a new jail, which is completely against anything I stand for.
Yeah,
Because I know that if we built a new jail, we would just fill it with people,
yeah,
uh, which is just the worst thing we could do.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm not cautious, not optimistic
yeah,
about her, nothing. All I can do with public officials who seem inevitably bound to disappoint me is spend all of the emotional labor and physical labor I can to hold them accountable.
yeah.
I don't have high hopes for any elected official. Um,
Some
yeah.
some speaking of elected officials, there were some alder persons who supported you on some level, right? Like at least gave you a degree of exposure that helped, or no? Am I being too generous too?
Um, I do think that's a bit generous.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
there were some alders that came in at the final hour, like the very final,
Yeah.
the day
Yeah,
before.
to get a photo
Um,
op. Yeah.
I was gonna testify final hour,
Yeah.
and had been, I don't know, you know, but
Yeah.
the
Nobody got
support
in on the
I
ground.
needed from them,
Yeah.
convincing the mayor to drop the charges,
Yeah.
um, you know, it just didn't come through.
Yeah. Okay. Man,
So
strike two.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Well, we're creeping up on 15 minutes before the start of the formal workday. So I don't want to keep you. This has been great. You've been so generous with your time. Thanks so much. Tell, I mean, obviously the Justice for Janice Coalition website is still active, still a presence
yes.
online. Where
Mhm.
else, if people want to learn more, where would you direct them?
I would send them so justiceforjanis.com.
Hmm.
Janice is spelled Janis, and
Yeah,
for is written out FOR. And then so the social media presence was entirely from the Eco-Socialist Green Party of
yeah,
Eastern Missouri. I would look on their socials. I don't have any social media,
yeah,
so they really pulled their weight there. Um, yeah, those are the places. But
yeah,
the coalition hasn't really been active. Of course, there's still more work to do, but honestly, I'm very, very, very tired.
yeah,
Of doing this work. I'm not going to give it up by any means,
yeah.
uh, but I need a break.
Sure, sure, no doubt. It's good to maintain the web presence for the story itself, so that people can go and see, as you noted a few minutes ago. I mean, it's so rare when you get a win,
Mhm.
like a real win, a real discrete, timely win. Um, that it's good. It's good for people to see that organizing works.
Hmm.
It does work, and it doesn't have to take a generation for it to work. It can
No.
work in a timely fashion.
Hmm.
I think that's one of maybe the best thing to take away from this, organize, organize, organize. And it does work. It is effective. Yeah. So what's next for you personally? Like just stay out of the spotlight for a while and
Yes, living
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, living life, investing in myself, um, taking abolitionist steps, encouraging other people to take abolitionist steps.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, being in community, supporting other people. I still do some of the work around youth facing incarceration.
Yeah.
Actually had a youth reach out to me recently because he turned 18 and he is incarcerated at the City Justice Center right now,
Yeah.
uh, and is just suffering just like everyone at the jail is suffering. So trying to support him, which involves going to see him at the jail, which I don't know how that will go.
Yeah. Have you
Uh,
been back? Have you been back to the CJC since
no,
now? Yeah.
no, I haven't actually.
Did the assistant warden, Tammy Ross, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Was she fired when the
No,
warden?
she actually became acting warden
Okay. Yeah.
after well, so she was demoted by Warden Clemens Abdullah,
Uh-huh.
and then the next day, Warden Clemens Abdullah was fired, and Tammy Ross was promoted to acting warden.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then she went back to assistant warden, and there's a new warden now. I don't
Yeah.
even know his name. Um,
Do you
but
think she's probably still there as the assistant warden?
yeah, she's there. Tammy
Oh,
Ross is
wow.
there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. We might
Mhm.
have to have a follow-up if you go visit this now adult 18-year-old at the
Mhm.
CJC. I'd be super curious to hear how that goes, particularly with respect to any potential interaction with her.
Yeah. And I actually referred him, even though the board has like no power and has basically been defunct since I left.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they haven't had a full board since I left. I think there are like three people left on it,
Wow.
and they can't meet because they don't have quorum.
Yeah.
They haven't.
What's the city doing about that? I mean, like, did it have
What they're
when it was
doing is allowing,
allowed?
facilitating the board being defunct.
Yeah. I would assume that when it was established by the board of aldermen,
Hmm.
that did it have a sunset provision in it, or was it established in perpetuity, or established for like
In perpetuity.
maybe biannual reviews and reauthorization or something like that? Or
No, in perpetuity.
yeah,
Our terms do expire. They were randomly selected to be. Some people had 1 year, some people had 2 year terms, some people had 3 year terms.
yeah.
Um, but when our terms expired, the city just kept us on. Didn't look for new
Oh,
members.
I
Didn't.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So they are literally letting it die on the vine right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Wow. I thought we were going to end this conversation on a high note. That's not great.
Hmm.
That's not great. Wow. Huh. Well, Janice, thanks again. This has been a great conversation. Really, really, really appreciate it. Thanks for being the first formal interview on the Greater Good podcast. This is
Yeah,
great,
thanks
great
for
start.
covering this.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I mean it. Like, keep in touch. Let me know if you do go back to the CJC
Hmm.
and how that goes, and we'll get back on and talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, and I guess enjoy the rest of your day.
thank you.
Yeah, good talking to you, Janice. Bye. Thank you for watching this episode of the Greater Good Podcast. If you feel so inclined, please leave a comment below. Good, not so good, neutral, whatever. Please also consider subscribing to the channel.
Soon enough, there will be a Patreon page for those who appreciate the effort enough to donate to the cause, either to the podcast itself, the Green Party of Kansas City, Missouri, the Green Party of Missouri, the Green Party in your neck of the woods, or the National Green Party. Links for all are in the episode description. And please do not forget, the Greater Good podcast will always and forever be free. No paywalls, no advertising. All content will be accessible to anyone who searches for it. No gates, no gatekeepers.